Brothers and sisters, this is part 3 of our Bible lesson, Who Killed Jesus, on the POET network. I'm your host, Black Ice.
I am Brother Julius.
And again, this is part 3. You got to go back and listen to part 1 and part 2 of Who Killed Jesus. We talked about the setup in part 1. How the guards came to get Jesus in part 1. How Pilate said, no, I'm not going to personally kill this man, but if you choose to do it, then I'm going to leave this up to your people to do it. They voted for a man named Barabbas to go free instead of Jesus. They led him up to be crucified, hung him on a cross. He died, gave up the ghost, and the veil was ripped in twain. Part 2, we went back 4,000 years to try to figure out how we got to the point where we were when Jesus was taken into custody.
Right.
We saw that a man was created. His wife was brought forth. He eventually listened to the knowledge of Satan, which is called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, also the serpent.
Yeah.
They ate off the fruit of his knowledge. God called him on it. And he said, what have you done? Because you've done this, guess what I'm going to do to you, man? I'm going to let you work this ground and till this ground until the day you go back to where I created you from, which is dust of the ground. Part 2. And now, brothers and sisters, we are all the way in part 3. We're going to go from 4,000 years. We're going to move up a little bit, Brother Julius.
Let's go up a couple of thousand years then.
We're going to move up to 2,000 years. We went from 4,000 years before this crucifixion. Now let's go to 2,000 years before the crucifixion. Let's deal with Moses, because this is very important information leading up to the information that we need to point out to you, brothers and sisters, as to who actually killed Jesus.
So, Black Ice, the Lord called Moses to free Israel out of Egypt, to spring them out of Egypt. But while they was down in Egypt, something happened. Let's pick this up at Exodus chapter 12.
Exodus chapter 12. And again, brothers and sisters, we give you scriptural support because we want you to know this thing yourself. We don't give lessons where we just take 2 verses out of a chapter and give you a motivational speech. Like they do in some churches on Sunday.
And not on top of that, Blocker, let's see where this so-called Easter came from.
Why?
Or was it called that? Stay tuned. Exodus 12 and 1.
Exodus 12 and 1.
Come on.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be called the first month of the year to you.
Now, what is the name of it? It is called Abib, or April. End of March goes right into April, which is springtime, which is God's new year. Not man, because man started a new year in the middle of a winter. Another lesson, another time. Verse 2, Ice.
Verse 3.
Verse 3.
Speak ye unto the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers.
Take a what?
A lamb.
An animal.
According to the house of their fathers, and a lamb for a house.
Yes.
And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls.
The number of the souls.
Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish.
Okay, your lamb cannot have any birth defects on it.
Wow.
What else, Ice?
Your lamb should be without blemish. A male of the first year.
It cannot be a female. It has to be a male, and it has to be in the first year of his life. Go ahead.
A male of the first year, you shall take it out from the sheep or from the goat.
Come on.
And you shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month.
No. Anytime you get ready, you keep this.
No, Brother Julius. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take the blood.
You kill it on the first day of the week. You kill it on the second, on Good Friday.
What we're entering in right now, brothers and sisters, is called Passover. Because remember, the death angel was coming to kill the firstborn of Egypt.
Well, let's read it. Let's read it to him. Read it to him.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
And they shall take the blood and strike it on 2 sides of the posts of the upper doorposts of the houses, wherein they shall eat it.
So, Black Ice, watch this right here. Your lamb shall be without blemish. It's got to be perfect. Kind of like your God is. Your lamb got to be in the first year. Your lamb you have to keep it up until the 14th day of the first month. And you shall kill it in the evening.
Wow.
Go back to on your own should we close out with that? We'll close out with that. Come on, Ice. Verse 7. You shall take what?
Verse 8. And they shall eat the flesh in the night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread with bitter herbs.
But you're going to take the blood. But you're going to take the blood and put it on the upper doorpost and the side post of the houses, wherever you are. Go ahead. And you shall take the eat of the flesh in that night. That's that lamb, Ice.
Verse 9. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire. His head with his legs, and with the pertinence thereof.
So now it can't be pierced. In terms of it's got to be perfect, and you got to eat it, you got to kill it, but you got to roast it with fire, and you can't break no bones in it.
Brothers and sisters, I know some of you all are thinking, what does this have to do with who killed Jesus?
Everything.
But please stay tuned. This is probably the most important piece of evidence that we're going to find in this book. Verse 10.
Go to verse 12, Ice.
Verse 12.
Yes.
And it reads, let me go to verse 11.
Go ahead.
And thus shall you eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and you shall eat it in haste.
Why?
It is the Lord's Passover.
Well, why is it called Passover, Black Ice? Read it at verse 12.
For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will kill all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute.
Oh, that's where they got
judgment.
That's where they got that movie from, Gods of Egypt.
I am the Lord. Brothers and sisters, let me just say this to you real quick. The Passover is every year the 14th day of the first month at evening.
That is absence of light.
The 14th day of the first month at evening. We're saying this to you so that you can know when New Year's Day actually is. So type in your Google search engine, Passover 2016, and whatever day that falls on, brothers and sisters, 14 days before that is New Year's Day. That's plain and simple. That's how men and women of God knows these things, brothers and sisters. It's no astonishment. It's no amazement. It's nothing special skilled about Black Ice and Brother Julius.
The 14th day of the first month at evening, at sundown, is the Lord's Passover. A day, a time, a certain time of the year.
And a certain time of the day.
And a certain time of the day.
So when you find out when Passover is this year, 14 days before that is the Lord's New Year's Day. And the Lord's New Year's Day, brothers and sisters, is not January the 1st. That's man's New Year's Day. Wow. Know who you are, whose you are, what time you're in, and where we are, Brother Julius.
Wow. Verse 13, Ice.
Exodus 12 and 13.
Now, the blood now, over the side post, and over the upper doorpost of your houses where you are. And what happens at 13, Ice?
And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are.
A token or a sign, yeah.
And when I see the blood.
When I see the Gentile.
No, I said when I see the blood.
When I see the Jew.
When I see the blood.
When I see the Roman.
It don't matter who's in the house. If you got blood over those doorposts, this is what the Lord, he said he's going to do. I will pass over you. Passover didn't just start when Jesus did it, brothers and sisters.
No.
He was continuing a tradition that started right here. The Lord said, I will pass over you. And the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I kill the land of Egypt.
Go ahead at verse 14.
And this day.
What day?
The Passover.
The 14th day of the first month every year, as long as there is a generation, is the Lord's Passover. Not the Jews, not the Romans, not the Gentiles, but the Lord's Passover. Come on, Ice. Finish at 14 again.
Verse 14.
Yes.
And this day shall be unto you for a memorial. And you shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations, and you shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever.
No, until the New Old Testament ends.
No, it didn't say until the Old Testament ends or until Jesus died. It didn't say that. It said forever.
Well, read verse 23 and then we'll move on.
Verse 23.
Yeah.
And it reads, For the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians, and when he sees the blood upon the lintel and on the two sides of the post, the Lord will pass over the door and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses.
That's that death angel.
To kill you.
Wow. So what have we covered, Ice? So much we have covered.
So we've covered the setup. We've covered 4,000 years ago the sin of Adam. And we've also covered the children of Israel and the killing of the lamb, brothers and sisters. And now, brothers and sisters, we got to go.
Wow.
We got to go.
And read about this foundation.
Read about this foundation.
Wow. Wow.
Because, see, if Jesus was killed, is it somewhere in this book where the prediction was made, brothers and sisters, that he would be killed? Is it somewhere in the scripture that it was prophesied that he would be killed, brothers and sisters?
Yes. Revelation.
We got to go to it and find out, brothers and sisters, where it talks about that.
Yeah.
Hebrews.
Let's go. Let's go to Revelation. Let's go to Revelation, the 13th chapter. That's more to the point of what we after here. Revelation chapter 13. This is why you have to have the law and the testimony, the Old and New Testament, sisters and brothers, because they interpret each other. I don't have the knowledge to interpret the word of God. I let the book speak for itself.
Revelation 13.
Revelation 13. Revelation 13.
I think we're reading one verse, right?
Yeah. Let's go. Wow. Wow.
Revelations 13 and 8. And it reads.
Talking about this beast to come, who we're going to persecute the true saints. Go ahead.
And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him.
That's the beast. Go ahead.
Whose names are not written in the book of life for the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world.
What? Wait a minute. Read that from the goat.
No, it says from the foundation of the world. Now, Brother Julius, I've heard people say, well, God knew what was going to happen. It all said that the lamb was going to be slain from the foundation of the world. So if God knew what was going to happen, why he put us in this condition? Well, brothers and sisters, the world started when man was created. We're talking about man's world, brothers and sisters.
Right.
It started when man was created. And on the first day of man's creation, brothers and sisters, guess what man did? Man sinned by doing something that God told him not to do. And from the moment that man sinned, Jesus knew that he had to die.
That's why he said, what have you done? Now you done brought death. Now I got to come
and fix it.
So now let's look at and see what he came to do. So he came like that you might have what?
Life and have it more abundantly.
He said, I came that you might have life. The first man brought in death and brought in sin, and sin led to death. So in order for man not to die, he had to get an animal, dress him in animal skin, coastal skin. That means something had to die. That means blood had to be shed, because blood is the atonement that makes, the blood is the thing that makes the atonement. Black
so
Ice.
Before Adam sinned, brothers and sisters,
yes,
we were all vegan.
Wow.
You couldn't even eat meat, brothers and sisters. The vegetation, the Lord said, was your meat, because again, nothing could die. Nothing could be killed, brothers and sisters.
Wow.
Before Adam sinned, animals were not put on the table until after Adam sinned.
Wow. Wow.
Brothers and sisters, this is part 3.
Wow.
Of who killed Jesus. We're going to go ahead and reveal to you, brothers and sisters, in part 4, who actually killed Jesus. We've given you a whole bunch of evidence leading up to this point. We got to go to Hebrews, the 10th chapter.
Let's go to Hebrews, the 10th chapter.
To talk to you about
a law.
A law, brothers and sisters.
That was set up.
And that was done away with.
Wow.
Not the law that you think it is, brothers and sisters, because we're still under the law, but just not this specific one. Stay tuned for part 4, our final part of Who Killed Jesus on the Bible radio show Truth Hour.
Man, why don't you just tell me who killed Jesus, man? Why don't you just tell me?
Stay tuned.